Hey, friend, welcome back to the Anchored with Purpose podcast. On today's episode, I've got my new friend, Kara Williams, and she is talking about how she supports women when it comes to tech, being someone who walks alongside women, helping them achieve their goals. And one of my favorite parts of our conversation today is how God closed a door for her that she really thought she was supposed to stay in, but then opened up a new one that she wouldn't have even looked for if God hadn't closed that first one. So make sure to tune in so that you can hear this story. Let's dive in. Well, hey there, Kara. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
This is exciting. I'm so glad that we had the opportunity to meet. And this is one of the fun things about podcasting is that I get to meet so many people, like so many wonderful women through the other wonderful women that I get to meet. And this is one of those situations where we got to meet from a mutual friend, which is so cool.
Yes, I love it. I love it. When as soon as I knew you were working with Mindy and y'all were podcasting together, I'm like, well, you must be really good people because Mindy's amazing and
I
she
love
only does
her.
amazing things.
She is incredible, incredible. Now, for our listeners who are getting to meet you for the first time today, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your journey, and what led you to helping entrepreneurs launch digital offers and online courses?
Yeah. So several years ago, it's been over 20 years now, my husband and I got married and I had always wanted to be a businesswoman for years and years. And I mean, the Lord gave me that opportunity. I was getting on a plane Monday through Friday, home on the weekends. I had two little puppies and I thought, I'm never getting married. I'm never having kids. Well, the Lord changed my heart when I was 25. And I just, at that point, I knew like I was going to get married. I was going to have children. And not long after that, he brought my sweet husband into my life. And I thought I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. Like I just, at that point, I'm like, I felt like that's where the Lord was leading me. And so I did. When my husband and I had children, I chose to stay at home, which was what he wanted too. But what I found was, and I've always been a super like high achiever and go-getter and, motivated. I needed something for my brain to do.
Yes, I
And
get
so
that.
I started this journey back 16 years ago when my son was born. So I had my daughter for 2 years and I really struggled with kind of just depression of not just raising her, but like I'd never just been at home with one little person who couldn't have a conversation. And so that just kind of led me to, I started an Etsy shop and then I taught myself how to do graphic design and just all the things. And so over the last 16 years, the Lord's allowed me to grow and explore different businesses. I've had a brick and mortar, I've had subscription boxes, but the one thing that everyone always came to me for, all my business friends would be like, Kara, how do I do the tech? Can you help me with my
Yes.
website? Can you help me get a payment link? Can you help? And I knew how to do it. I learned how to do it. Came natural to me. And I would be like, oh yeah, sure. And so it just flowed into a couple years ago. I'm like, why am I like square peg round hole? The Lord's given me this gift of making the tech simple for other people. So now that's all I do.
That is amazing. I mean, and I can relate in so many ways, and I know that our listeners can too. When it comes to, being a businesswoman and then becoming a stay-at-home mom and feeling kind of like a piece of yourself is missing because it's a blessing to be able to stay at home with that sweet little baby, but also you miss a part of who you once were before
Yeah.
that. And then I can absolutely relate to all of your friends who are asking you all of the tech questions because that's one of the scariest thing about launching anything is how do you do the tech? It can be so intimidating. So I want to ask you now, with all of these entrepreneurs that you work with that are feeling overwhelmed by the tech and maybe they're scared of launching because of the tech, what are some of the biggest struggles you're seeing them face when they turn their expertise into something online?
Yeah. So this is a really interesting question. Just in the last few weeks, I've kind of had a revelation around the ladies that I work with. And when I sat back and I started looking for the through line of what is the common denominator of the ladies I work with, because I don't work with a specific industry or niche in that, like we would normally say, like fitness or coaching. They're all different. I mean, I've got a lady that is launching a course on how to treat lice at home. I've got another one
Wow.
that's a 7-figure Etsy seller who's launching a course on how to grow an Etsy shop. But here's what I've realized is all of the ladies that I work with are caretakers at a different level than just being a wife, a mom, a sister, a daughter. They have aging parents. They have
Mm.
disabled spouses. They have special needs children. And I don't think it hit me when all these people started coming to me, but I also have a daughter who is on the spectrum. So it's a natural fit because when they come to me, like I can empathize and I can
Yes.
also emotionally help them through it. And this is the thing. So to answer your question, this is where they actually struggle. It's in the mind. They
Oh,
don't think what they have is good enough. That it's and they're struggling when they get to this point because for their entire lives they've been able to do it all themselves and just muster up, pull you up by your bootstraps and let's go. And now all of a sudden they're like, I'm not qualified and they're
mm,
overqualified.
yes.
And so I had somebody just yesterday. I only take 3 or 4 high ticket clients at a time and work really closely with them. And she sent me a message yesterday and she goes, Kara, I have gotten more than my money's worth in just emotional support to keep me
Oh,
moving forward.
of that. And it's true. I mean, the enemy just wants to attack us wherever we're vulnerable, wherever he can. And a lot of times it's with, am I worthy? Am I called to do this? Am I qualified to do this? And just amazing that you've got this faith where you can guide them along and continue to encourage them, not just with the tech, which is super scary in and of itself, but with that emotional support.
Well, and I want to say real quick before we move on, there's a huge trust recession right now. And
Mm,
one of the things that I do different than anyone else, I feel like in my industry is I don't make any income claims. Listen, I
mm,
can't tell you what the market is going to do when we launch your course. But what I can
right.
tell you is, if you've gotten people results, then you have something valuable. At that point, it becomes a messaging problem, a packaging problem, and those are all fixable. But, a lot of people are like, in the next, 90 days, we're going to launch your course and you're going to be a 6-figure entrepreneur. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to call BS on that.
Wouldn't it be great though?
Yeah. And so that's another thing. So anytime somebody comes to me, they're like, man, nobody's ever said that to me before. I've always gotten these promises and then I've been let down. I don't make those
Mm,
promises because we aren't in control. The Lord is.
right, right. 100%. Well, well, Kara, we know that there are these women out here who've got this incredible knowledge and experience, and they've gotten results for themselves and they've gotten results for others, but they feel stuck when it comes to packaging it into something that they can sell online. Why do you think that happens?
So 99% of the time, it's over consuming trainings.
Oh, guilty.
I did a post the other day that was like, you'll spend $6,000 on another high ticket course that's going to help you launch the thing when what you really needed was the support and the help to come
Yes.
alongside you and do it with you. Right?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
If only all of those courses had that one on one person to walk alongside of you to say, well, you're doing this great, but we could optimize here or we could make this. Like those big course, they don't do that. They don't have time for that. They've got 10,000 people in the course at the time.
Yeah. And I had a client one day, she's taken some of the big names, Amy, Russell, Michelle, like she's
Yep.
taken lots and lots of money in training. And she still hasn't launched a course, hasn't even recorded her first video. And so our
Oh,
very first call together after she hired me, she sent me a message and she goes, Kara, I feel like I was drowning and you like threw me a life preserver. And now I'm thriving because I'm floating and I know my exact next step. And
mm,
whenever somebody comes to work with me, I know how much is involved in launching a course. I mean, you've got a
mhm.
course portal, you've got funnels, you've got email automations. If you're going to send out text message, reminders, like there's so many things that go into it
Yes.
that I don't want my client to focus on any of that. I just want to tell them, hey, for today, I want you to go work on your videos, or today I want you to get your workbook done. And then when we're done with that, I'll tell you the next step, but I'm not going to
Yeah.
reveal the entire path and overwhelm you. I'm going to just walk you through it.
Oh my gosh, Kara, this is like exactly what I wish I had had, like from the very beginning. This is incredible. Like when I think about, like, for example, when it came time to launch the podcast, like I was in overwhelm for so long. I was stuck. I had done one of the big name courses, right, for
Mhm.
starting a podcast. I had done, like I was listening and over consuming these other podcasts, learning and feeling just so stuck. Like,
Mhm.
oh, wait, but if I'm not going to do it right, maybe I should wait and should wait. And I put it off and put it off, even after starting my podcast for work. Like I was doing it, but it took me about 6 months till I finally said, okay, just do it. How much better would it have been to have someone like you to walk alongside me saying, all right, Melissa, today, all we're going to do is we're just going to have you record your trailer and an intro and an outro. And that's it. And next, then we'll talk about what's next. Oh, I love that, Kara. I love that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Now you help people when it comes to that tech overwhelm. And this is something that, I struggled with big time. So if someone's listening and has been sitting on an idea for maybe a course or a podcast or a digital product or a program, what are the first steps they should take to get started?
Yeah. So I always tell people that the very first thing you can do is get it out of your brain and into something you can see. So whether that's a
Yeah.
Google Doc, paper, whatever it is. And I actually, I had for about 9 months, I did a workshop on this. So a lot of times if somebody comes into my world and they're like, hey, I think I want to work with you. I'm not 100% sure. The idea is still in my head. I'll send them a copy of that and say, here's what I want you to do first. I want you to listen to this and I want you to map it out for me because the
Yeah.
first step is getting it out of your brain into a plan that you can see. And here's the thing, that plan is going to change. So you may think I'm going to do, a course with 5 modules and it's going to have 3 lessons in each module and this is what they're going to be. But I've got tools that then will check, is that really what you need to be creating based on what's already out there and what your audience is really needing? So things like maybe you don't even know that you need to educate your audience on XYZ because
Mhm.
you already knew it. So everybody else does. So I've got like
Yes.
tools that then can fill in those gaps. So we kind of go through that. That's kind of the first thing that, I normally do with people. And then we look at what all is involved. And then that it gives them the educated decision. They can make an educated decision at that point. Like, is this something I want to take on myself or am I going to need some help?
Yeah.
Because when you realize, like, I don't just have to record videos and I don't just have to do my workbook or my worksheets and, and then, design the graphics. When there's so much more to it, everybody thinks I can just quickly launch a course. Friend, I'm just going to tell you, it doesn't work like that. It just doesn't. It just doesn't. And so they can make an educated guess. So that's what I would say. If you're listening and you've got this idea, like I can send you that training. You can listen to it. You can start mapping it out and I can provide you with the resource to kind of double check. And then we can look at what's involved and you can make an educated decision on, is this something I want to do myself or do I need some help?
Yes. And to have somebody to walk alongside of them as they're launching, I feel like that's also got to be a confidence builder too, especially when it comes to the tech piece, like editing videos. Boy, is that scary if you've never done it before. I mean, there's so much that goes into it. And to have another person to bounce ideas off of, it's kind of like that mastermind principle where two heads are absolutely better than one because you'll think of things that I didn't think of. And our energy together helps to produce something way better than I could ever produce on my own.
Yeah, for sure. And a lot of times my clients will come to me and they're like, hey, I'm going to offer this bonus and da 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 da. And while I'm listening, I'm like, oh, but there's a gap. And this bonus would actually be easy for them to create. And it would give so much value to so
Yeah.
you really do need that person that's not so close to the problem to say, wait. Let's look at it from this angle.
Yes. Well, because you've got fresh eyes on it too. Like
Mhm.
if someone's launching something, like let's just say they are launching about how to create friendship bracelets, right? And they are an expert on friendship bracelets. You might be crafty in other ways, but maybe you're not the expert. So you might say, hey, wait, as someone who's crafty, but maybe that's not my expertise, here's something you're going to need to teach me if I were going to buy your course. So I love
100%.
that idea, having those fresh eyes on it.
100%.
Now, Kara, let's talk about something that know that I struggle with, and I'm sure there's other women out there listening who struggle with it too, and that is the perfectionism, right? Like they want to wait till everything is perfect before launching something. So, what are you saying to the woman who keeps delaying because she feels like "Oh, she's not ready yet or it's not perfect enough yet?"
Yeah. So I always say perfectionism is just fear in cute clothing.
That's good. I
I
love
mean,
that.
all it really is, what you're actually sitting with in reality is insecurity and doubt.
Mm.
And the only things that squash insecurity and doubt is action. So the longer you sit in that, the more self-sabotage is happening in your own brain. The quicker you take action, the quicker you can get out of that, and you can look at the data and then make an educated decision. So just like I said, when we map, I teach people to map out your course first, let me double check it. And then let me show you what tech is involved. All of that is just data. This is just the facts. This is where these are the things you need to have in order to know how do I move forward. It's the same thing whenever you're sitting in fear and doubt and overwhelm and that idea is still stuck up here. Listen, if the Lord has given you something that has allowed you to get a result in someone's life or in your own life, and that would help someone else, the devil is keeping you stuck by keeping it up here.
Amen. Oh,
I
that's
mean,
so good.
at that point, he's winning.
Yes. That's such a good point. Kara, when you were talking about like we're here and we want to get to here with our course, right? That place in the middle, that's the gap. And I feel like for anybody who's ever been in the gap, there is a lot to overcome there. There is a lot of negative storytelling that we're doing to ourselves in the gap. There is a lot of limiting beliefs to overcome when they're in the gap. Working with somebody like you can help us maybe not dip down so far into the gap, but also could be someone giving us an arm up out of the gap into actually producing what we're being called to produce.
Yeah. I had a client, she had been sitting on her course for 18 months. She'd already
Oh,
created her workbook. And when she came to me, she thought like, I'm just going to jump on and record my videos. Well, the very first day that she hit record, she messaged me in tears and she's like, I can't do this. I thought this was going to be easy. I can't do this. And because I've worked with so many people that have that problem, I already had resources that I had created that I'm like, here, friend, I'm going to send you some videos. I want you to use this one platform to record your video. And then I'm going to actually show you how to use it. Super simple. Well, I already have this other platform. Right. But for $8, you can sign up for this one and follow these trainings and you're actually going to get unstuck. So your platform, I'm sure is
yes.
great, but I'm giving you this lifeline of here's one that's already ready. I'm going to show you exactly how to use it. And she recorded all of her videos. So,
Oh, that's so good.
I was thinking about this morning. Like, I am really platform specific on what I work on. And it's not necessarily because that platform is the end all be all platforms, but because I know I can get it up and running quickly. And when you have a problem and you message me, I can usually answer the problem in a quick Voxer note.
Yes, that's so good. And I feel like sometimes that tech piece is what is preventing them from moving forward. And this is the thing, like when you take those courses, like when I was talking about those different podcasting courses that I took and the podcast I was listening to, they were all talking about multiple different softwares for recording and how to and it sounded so complicated, right? Sounded so complicated. Someone I was working with, one of our contractors had said, hey, you should try Riverside. Like this is something that I work with other clients on and it's been really helpful to me. So we tried it and I was able to become comfortable with it. And after doing that, it still took me 6 months to master, like not being too scared to edit my own podcast episodes, right? Like that was what was super scary to me. But when I realized that was like, once I got over that, once I learned how to edit and use it, that's where, and that's how you and I got to chat was when I was showing Mindy how I was editing her episode, because I feel like for other women out there who want to have their voice heard and are being called to have their voice heard, if this is one thing I can do, because I had to learn my way through it, if I can take that scary out for someone else, then their voice will be heard and their purpose will be closer to being fulfilled. And if you're doing that on such a bigger level, right? Like you're helping them make a huge difference. And I think, oh my gosh, everybody should be working with you. This is so helpful.
Thank you. I love my people. And that's another thing is I hear you said a minute ago, the confidence. They'll message me and say, I heard you in my head again today whenever I started to spiral. Kara just said, do the next thing and then come bring it to me and we'll walk through this together. And there is a confidence that comes when you know you have somebody in your back pocket that is willing and wants to help you.
Yes.
Like loves you, is praying for you and wants to help you.
That's so good. Just to have somebody there who really is fully in your corner, like, and
Mhm.
has got you all the way around from prayer to emotional support. And that's not even including the tech, right? So the tech is
Yeah,
all happening. The next great
that's
step is
easy.
happening. It's,
That's the easy part.
oh my gosh. Well, let's talk about burnout because we know that this can happen for, well,
Mhm.
for all of us, right? But you build systems and automation so that anybody who's running a course or a program, so they don't burn out. Can you explain what this looks like in real life for someone who's building something online?
Yeah. So whenever we talk systems and automations, a lot of entrepreneurs' eyes just like glaze over. And so I get people that ask me, people that know me personally, they're like, Kara, what exactly do you do? And here's the deal. If I go to somebody's website and a pop-up comes up and it says, do you want 10% off of your order? Well, yeah. So I input my email. All the things that happen from the time that pop-up pops up to you getting that discount code and inputting it, and then your order actually getting placed and you getting the confirmation. I do all of that. I make all the things talk to each other and happen so that the customer has a seamless experience, so that my entrepreneur who is trying to launch this thing and is having to do content and they're creating, all the things that they have to do, manage payroll and all the things, they just have to share their link. Just
Yes.
share their link. And so the burnout often comes from you not staying in your lane and doing the things that you're good at. And what
Mm,
I've realized is the entrepreneurs I've worked with, they're big DIYers, but they've outgrown DIY.
it's interesting.
So at this point, the leadership move for them is to partner with someone who loves it and wants to help them with it.
Yes. So will you actually do all of the automation and setup for them, or do you just walk them through how to do it?
No, so if well, I have a couple different programs, but my one-on-one clients, they record their videos, their workbooks, they give me their branding, their headshots, and the text. So their copy for their sales pages and things like that, because they know their ideal client. I don't, right? Like I can't speak to your ideal client. So and then I take it all and I put it together. So that
Oh,
usually looks
wow.
like if they have a freebie that they want to offer to get somebody into their world that then tripwires into a paid offer, like all of those pages have to be set up. So I take all of their text, all of their branding. And what's different about working with me than a lot of tech people is I'm a creative first. I owned a paint
Yes.
studio and I love all things creative. Everything I own is colorful and fun and pretty. And so I don't just create, like take your stuff and pop it on pages. Like I can actually take it and go create matching graphics and make it have the look and feel that you want and not say, hey, you need to go to your graphic designer and I need an image that's this pixels by this pixels for this space that says this. Like I can just jump in and do it. And so that's what they're really hiring me for is like you just do the part that I can't do for you. And then
Yeah.
I'm going to come and surround and do all the rest.
That is amazing. I feel like any entrepreneur would be crazy not to call you up and say, Kara, help me, because you're going to do all of that stuff. And I love what you talked about. First, so many things here. First, you're creative first. And so you're embracing that and still getting to work in that creative space, even though it's a creative tech space. And I also think it's so important what you said about staying in your lane. We know that God has given us certain gifts for his purposes, right? So for you, your gifts of creativity and tech, you're getting to live and work in those. For someone like me or someone like Mindy, right? Like who we've got other giftings that's so complementary to have like someone come alongside who is working right within their natural giftings rather than like me trying to bootstrap it, do it myself. That leads to burnout right there.
Yep, 100%.
Wow. Now, many of the women listening are trying to find God's call in their work and in their lives. We've got 10 life anchors, and our work and business is a part of that. Our faith is a part of that. Our family is our home life. So, how has your faith shaped the way you approach entrepreneurship and the way you serve the people that you work with?
So I just actually did a post yesterday, a reel, and I had a full circle moment. So before I went all in supporting entrepreneurs with tech, I had a scripture memory subscription box because I had at 41, someone came alongside me and showed me how to really study scripture. And I just dove in and I loved it. And I was like, man, if every woman could just understand how to read her Bible and how to grow closer to the Lord, like, man, it would change their lives, right?
Yes.
So I had launched this box because I wanted women to start embracing that journey and growing closer to the Lord. I did it for about a year and a half, and the Lord was closing that door. And I
Mm.
was heartbroken because here I thought, well, Lord, I just wanted more people to know you better. And
Yes.
now I can't. Little did I know that now I get to build relationships and pray with them and point them specifically to verses in scripture and talk to them in their actual problems and point them back to God. So I get to do
Yes.
that every day now,
Oh,
but
that's so
on a
good.
personal level, which I would have missed if I was just shipping out boxes. And so
Yes.
I would just say, where you're walking right now doesn't feel good, or it doesn't feel like you're accomplishing your purpose yet. The Lord's not done yet. And his
Yes.
plans are bigger than yours and they're better. Like I actually, this weekend, I had someone purchase a scripture memory bracelet off of Etsy. I listed it 2 years ago,
Wow.
had not sold any. And so it was so funny because as I was shipping it out, I'm like, this is a total full circle moment.
Yes.
Totally full circle.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Kara, I love that you said that, sometimes God closes doors for us, but that open us up for our purpose. I just recorded right before you and I talked, I just recorded an episode, and that was part of it. That one of the ways we can find our purpose is that God will close some doors for us that we really liked, like something
Mhm.
we thought we were going to be in for the long haul. And then he's going to open up doors that we've never expected. And you're now living even fuller in your purpose because you're getting to connect with the women one on one rather than just shipping the box, which I'm sure was fulfilling. And it was so helpful to that woman. But you get to love on her in a deeper way now, in a way that you wouldn't have even thought of just with shipping the boxes.
Yeah. And it also led, we've talked about Mindy. It also led Mindy and I, because we both went on a coaching journey and realized how much we loved working with other entrepreneurs, to launch a Christian mastermind. So now I
Yeah.
also have these sweet ladies that once a week they come and they say, this is where I'm at. What should I do for the next 7 days to move my business forward? And we're always like on those calls, it never fails. There are personal things that are coming up, and we always get the opportunity to point them to their only hope, which is their Savior. And it's
Yes.
just so fulfilling.
Kara, I love that. I love that you get the opportunity to walk with them in so many different ways. And really, I mean, it's just such a well rounded experience. Now, Kara, for the woman out there who's listening and who's thinking, oh my gosh, I need a Kara in my life, where can they connect with you and learn more about you and the work that you're doing?
Yeah. So you can find me anywhere on any of the socials. It's helpmekara.com is my website. And it's Kara with a K. So it's just HELPMEKARA on Instagram, Facebook, wherever your favorite platform is, I'm there. I'm more active on Facebook and Instagram, but you can always, send a message through my website. I would just love to chat.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Kara, I'm sure you're going to be getting women reaching out to you saying, help me, Kara, because I'm over here thinking, I need Kara. We need to talk. Kara, thank you much for just sharing who you are, sharing how you help serve women. And thank you for pouring into this community today.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. It was such a blessing.
Well, thank you once again. And to our listeners, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Stay anchored with purpose. Thank you so much for joining me today on the Anchored with Purpose podcast. I hope you're leaving inspired, encouraged, and ready to take action on your biggest dreams. If you enjoyed today's episode, please take a moment to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with another friend who needs some encouragement. Your support helps us reach more women just like you who are seeking to live a life anchored in faith, family, and purpose. And don't forget to join the Anchored with Purpose tribe on Facebook, where we continue the conversation and to support each other in living out our God-given dreams. Until next time, remember, you are loved, you are chosen, and you have what it takes to achieve your biggest dreams.